Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lily, and I welcome you to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. In today's video, we are going to work on a couple of things. We are going to collage or work on a coffee dyed envelope. But before we get to that, I am going to show you a very brief process on how I coffee dye during wintertime. And I had this question asked by one of my subscribers, and I thought I would just show you really quick. These are the most recent envelopes that I coffee dyed. And I know that I said I was only going to coffee dye 2 or 4. I actually got carried away, and I'll explain that to you in just a moment. But this is my stack of beautiful coffee dyed envelopes, and it didn't take very long to do. And I will tell you, it's been anywhere between 25 and 30 degrees these past few days, and I am drying these in my house without the oven, without the microwave, and without having to go take them outside. So I'm going to cut into a video that I recorded a few days ago to show you what my process is. And it's only for a couple minutes, so I am going to lead you into that right now. Okay, so this is what I do to make my morning coffee, and I've actually taken the K-cup that I used, and I'm giving it a second go, which means I'm reusing the coffee and I'm making a second cup with that same K-cup. Did that make sense? So here are all the envelopes that I am going to coffee dye. Now, I really did only grab a couple, but as I was going downstairs into the kitchen, there was a ton of junk mail sitting on the dining table. So I went through it and voila, I ended up with more junk mail envelopes, but they're perfect. And I thought, oh, I'll just coffee dye all of them right now. And so here is the weak coffee, you guys. It is weak because I've already made my cup of coffee with that. So now I'm going to take my junk mail envelopes and place them into the glass baking dish because it's what I have. And now I'm going to pour the coffee. And by the way, the coffee has cooled down. It is not very hot because I want to be able to handle the envelopes and not, burn my hands. And so I'm placing a few envelopes into the baking dish, and I will carefully just pour over some of this coffee. Now, this second cup of coffee does not taste good. It is really watered down. Believe me, I know, because I tried drinking it one time by making a second cup. No, not good. So I'm moving the envelopes around just to make certain that they are all covered with the coffee. And then I press them down and then I move them around a little bit, because if you don't do this, there may be some dry spots in between the envelopes. So just carefully move them around. Make sure that there's coffee between all of the layers. Now, once the coffee or once the envelopes become saturated, they become very fragile. So be careful when you move them around because they will easily tear. I have torn some, but I still work with them because I like adding washi tape. It just makes them nice and grungy. But if you don't want to tear your envelopes, just be careful. And I will say that it is much easier to do this with both hands. I am holding my camera with one hand, and so I'm struggling a little bit filming and working with the one hand. And what I did is I grabbed a clean towel, and this is they're the microfiber towels are super absorbent. It is clean. You can use an old towel, something that is clean that you don't mind getting coffee stained. And so I have a few of these, and these work perfect for me. It is dry, and I'm going to let these actually already did. I let these sit in the coffee bath for several minutes. And I will now hold them and let the coffee drip and then place them on the yellow towel just so so it catches any extra excess coffee. And this is a super easy way to do it. You have the option of turning on your oven and also drying these in the microwave. I don't recommend putting these in the microwave or in the oven because they have windows and they have that plastic. And so the best way to have these dry is you can just leave them on your kitchen counter. In ideal warm weather, you can place them outside and have them sun dry. But I'm showing you my method right now when it is 25 degrees outside and we're not going outside. They won't dry as nice. I actually take these and look at how that catches in that window. So I'm not going to have you watch that drip until it empties. And so I flip it around and have it drip through the open side. I will separate these on the towel. And then I'm going to place them by my heat vent. Now, I could leave these on the kitchen counter overnight and they'll dry just fine, but I actually want to use them in a few minutes because I want to keep working on embellishing and collaging on the envelope. So I had some free time that day, and so I wanted to work on them that moment. And so I lay them all nice and flat. I spread them out evenly. And by the way, I did coffee dye that entire stack that I showed you. It wasn't just the 4 or 5. I went ahead and did all of them. And what I have been doing lately is just doing 2 or 3 at a time with whatever leftover coffee I had. But I'm taking advantage of the fact that I made a whole cup of coffee and I had all of those extra envelopes just calling my name, you guys. I couldn't abandon them. I'm going to take these up. Now I am in the kitchen, which is on the main level. And so I'm going to take these upstairs in my work area and put them by the heat vent that's on the floor underneath my desk. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. So I just folded them to carry them with me upstairs. So this is my desk, and I've kind of already prepped the area. I have a cutting board on the floor by the heat vent, and that is where I'm going to put the towel down right there with all of the envelopes. Some of them I did place over the heating vent. Now, I'm working at my desk when I did this. I don't recommend leaving these unattended. You just never know. So make sure you keep an eye on those. And then I rotated them every few minutes until they were all dry. It didn't take very long, maybe 30 minutes when I rotated them, and they dried really nice. And this is what they look like. It didn't take very long at all. Again, don't leave those unattended or place them over the heat vent. You can leave them on the side. I think they'll be okay, but I wouldn't take any chances by leaving anything covering the heat vent. All right. So look at how wonderful they turned out. Literally 30 minutes, you guys. It did not take very long to create these coffee dyed junk mail envelopes. They turned out amazing. And I wanted to leave the sound on so you could hear how nice and crinkly they sound. But when I was recording this video, my dad was watching a football game, and yeah, that got pretty loud. And so instead of hearing the crunchy junk mail envelopes, you'd be hearing the cheering in the background. So, which is not bad, but no, not today. Okay, so since I have these junk mail envelopes out, I thought we could work and embellish one of them. Now, I did one off camera just to kind of play around with some of the items that I had. And I thought it would be fun to use the, oh my gosh, my mind went blank. What is that? The strip? Oh, please, not now. The words, I need them right now. Anyway, I used Tim Holtz flowers. I used book page and the snippet roll. I used snippet roll, you guys. And then just some little junk tags that I had made from scrap pieces of paper. And I put it all together. Now, I will link the video below of when I made other junk mail envelopes very similar to this. And I will link all of those below. So if you didn't catch that one, it's very similar to this. But I kind of made this one a little bit different. And I'm going to use snippet roll because I have, remember that 55-foot snippet roll that I made? Yeah, we need to use some of that. And I believe, no, I thought I was going to show you my snippet roll. I think I do in just a moment, but I also want to show you how it is that I use these envelopes in my signature. And I know I did talk about it in the previous video, but I've had questions about, the junk mail envelopes, the coffee dyeing process. So I thought I would make this video specifically for those two things. And they just look so wonderful. I love using these, especially with the windows in the signatures. I do have other videos where I use the junk mail envelopes vertically, where I glue two of them, and I will also link that video below. I also put them in the signatures, but they are vertical instead of a single envelope that is horizontal. I switched pages pages so that you could see how nice it looks, and it just pops up against a colored page instead of just using a neutral background. It looks so pretty. And I'm a sucker for polka dotted paper, so it looked really nice. So let's get to embellishing. Let's work on one of them. I wish I could work on more than one in today's video, but then we would be here for a really long time. And so we are going to work on one, and the process goes by very, very quick. So don't go away. So I'm just going to choose one of these envelopes, and I just love the way that postage mark looks there in red. I'm so glad that that didn't fade when it was in the coffee bath. Oh, they turned out so nice. So nice. So I debated between using the one with the red postage or the black one, and I end up working with that black one right there. And so I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with that other envelope right above. And we are going to start by cutting open that right hand edge because I'm going to collage the inside. So as you see through that window, instead of seeing the security print, you'll be able to see some book page on there. So grabbed my glue book, and I'm going to take my vintage book and just take out one of those sheets. And trim it down to size and just glue it down. I end up grabbing a different page because this one I cut too narrow and it wasn't wide enough to cover the window. And I know, no big deal, but yeah, I knew that would bug me. And so I just cut a wider piece and then just glue it down. There you go. There you go. So let me know down below if you have an even easier method of coffee dyeing. What do you do during the winter when you can't coffee or when you can't dry your coffee dyed pages outside? Because that really is the best way to do it. One, when you dry, whether it be coffee or tea or avocado dyed paper, sun drying is the best method because you get so many wonderful shades. They vary because of the sun. I've coffee dyed outside where there's been a breeze and I've had to chase my pages outside in my backyard. Hilarious, you guys. But it's still ideal outside, ideal. I've also had them dry just on the kitchen island. The only thing about that is no one else can use the kitchen island while you're creating. Here is the giant snippet roll, the 55-foot snippet roll, and I've probably only used a couple feet since I made this. But I love how it turned out, and I will link up above the video showing you how it is that I make this, so check that out. If you're new to making snippet rolls, that's a great video to watch because it's a super easy process using scraps that you already have. So just going to trim it, trim off that excess. And I will also add a little bit of book page on that right hand side, just a little bit. Thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for joining me and for being here, for liking, for subscribing, and for sharing my videos. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I mean that sincerely. If you are new to this type of art or creativity or process, and you have questions about what I'm doing or anything about this, because sometimes I've been doing this for a while, and I know that I have a lot of you that are new to this type of art. Don't be afraid to ask any questions regarding the process or even the terms that I use. Just anything. If you have any questions, please leave them down below because I do try to reply as soon as I possibly can. Or if you are more advanced, and you've got tips or suggestions to things that I'm doing, because sometimes I'm trying things out for the first time, or I may even struggle with some things, and please, if you've got tips for me, please share them down below. If you have a YouTube channel and you have similar videos or process videos, let me know. I'm happy to go and watch your channel as well. Look at that beautiful snippet roll. Seriously, everyone, 55 feet is what I did in one evening while I was watching television. Now, the first one that I made, I just cut straight across, but I didn't like how that straight edge looked. So I decided to tear it, and I really like the way that torn edge looks. I just needed to use the scissors to cut into the thread. And that snippet roll was made using nothing but scraps from my scrap box. That was it. It's a fun video. I think you'll enjoy it. So now folding over the envelope, just enough so that it doesn't fold at the window. And it's okay that they are not the same size. You don't have to fold it straight down the middle because it'll still leave a little pocket. So I did tear it. I just showed you how there was a little tear, and that's because of how fragile it was when I was moving it around in the coffee bath. But I'm just going to grab some washi tape and just cover the tear. I like that butterfly washi tape so much, I accidentally bought it twice. So now I really need to use it up before it dries. One of the main reasons I am working with these envelopes is to use up things that I already have and also incorporate junky items. As much as I love working with new products, I also want to use up or reuse junky things and use up my supplies as well. The washi tape, old book pages, snippet roll made from, scraps that would have, tiny scraps, you guys, stuff that would have ended up in the garbage. They were just so tiny. Because the junk journal that the two junk journals that I'm currently working on, I want to use as much junk as I can. And I hate to call it junk, but it really is. These are items that I would, or anyone would just toss. But I feel the need to reuse and repurpose. So I haven't taken this little book out in a while. It holds some of my ephemera, and these are some of my Tim Holtz flowers. I'm just selecting one to use over that window. I just love the way that looks. And I think I need to make another one of these ephemera holders. If you haven't watched this video on how I made it, this was inspired by Liz the Paper Project, and I kind of have my own take on it. And I will link the video here so that you can go see it when you have a chance. I will also link it down below. It was made by using envelopes, scrapbooking paper, and some vellum. So I will link that below if you are interested in watching that. But it is perfect for holding little bits and pieces of ephemera. So I chose this one. It is large enough so it covers both of the windows, and I just love the way that looks. I always end up using more glue than I than I need. And then it oozes out on the sides. I'm also using some word stickers. And I've had these for a little while. And they're starting to dry out on me. But that's okay because we have glue and we can glue it down. For some reason, I feel that my items are drying out more now that I'm here in Utah than when I was in California. And I mentioned that in my previous video about my ink pads, but I'm noticing it also with my stickers. Now I know I've had some of them for years, for a few years, but just recently, like nothing wants to stick. I have to use glue on everything. I'm okay with that. I've got tons of glue. I need to use up my supplies. So just added the word there. This one reads thoughts. The other one reads imagination. So you can use your imagination and put your thoughts on paper. What do you think about it? How do you think it's coming out now? I love it. And I just love that butterfly washi tape there. And now, as you can see, I used that snippet roll and I left the top open to use as a pocket. I still can't get used to using, putting the pin on the side of the bottle. You know, that little foam sticker that I placed on the side of my glue bottle, especially for the pin. I forget to use it. I still have the bad habit of just placing it on the table. Oh, I am going to show you. I have a little drawer of just random tags. These are some that I made from scrap pieces of paper, but this drawer here also holds a lot of tags that come in ephemera packs. But right now I'm going to choose 3 of the ones that I made. Well, I start that way, but then I go in a different direction. But you can see I also have others that come in, like I think that was a Maggie Holmes tag, and just a bunch of different tags that come in ephemera packs. So I just I separated them a while back and have them in this drawer. I also have some random stickers in there. Just random things, but mainly tags. And so I grabbed these 3 because I wanted to do the same as I did with the first one right there up above. But then I remembered I have this other drawer full of nothing but clothing tags. And I have been collecting these for years, you guys, more than 10 years. All clothing tags go in here. Oh, that's even an airline tag. But they all go in here. And since we are working on a junk journal, let's use junk tags. Let me know if you also collect some clothing tags, you guys. I do. Because some of them are just too nice to throw away. Look at this one. Just random, and I'm just, just showing you all the random clothing tags I have in there. And some of them are really nice. They even come with bull pins or little safety pins. Some of them have really nice ribbon or twine. Some of them, the paper is really nice. And I can't remember if I've shown you this before. I vaguely remember that maybe I've shown you this stash of tags before. These are clipped. They must be some of my favorite ones because, yeah. Oh my gosh, this one right here, the Harley Davidson one. Oh, that one's old. You guys, it's from like 2007. A long time ago. 2007. I remember because I bought some boots. Some riding boots. Look at this one. It's so cute. Has a double tag. That one came with a little safety pin. I'll share something with you about me. So I learned how to ride a motorcycle in 2006, 2007, and so that's why I bought myself those Harley Davidson boots, because I went to, there is a riding school here in Utah County. It is Timpanogos Riding School. It's a Harley Davidson dealer, and I learned how to ride a Harley Davidson there, and I got licensed. I know. I did. It was so much fun. I loved riding. Now I haven't done it in a long time. The last time I was on a motorcycle was 2019 down in St. George, southern Utah. That was so much fun. That twine that you just saw, I bought at the thrift store for $1. So that was a great find. I would like to one day ride again. That would be fun. I think I need a refresher course because I just haven't done it in a long time. But yes, I like motorcycles. By the way, I ended up grabbing one of my junkie tags, one of my clothing tags. So instead of using the 3 smaller ones that I made, I just grabbed one from my tag drawer. And this is, I am separating the fibers on that twine just to make it look a little grungy. So I like the way that looks. And that's it, nothing much. That tag doesn't need anything done to it. I mean, I suppose I could embellish it or collage over it, but I like it just the way it is. The other thing that I did is I stamped. So in the previous video, I used some quotes to add to the inside part of the envelope. Not really the inside part, but when it's folded, it's the inside part. But with these, I thought I would stamp. Now, I've misplaced my acrylic blocks, so I'm going to use the lid to the black ink pad. I know. I put them away in a safe place, so they're still there waiting for me to find them. And I love the simplicity of these stamps. They're so pretty. I used black ink here, but I actually prefer the vintage photo that I used on the other envelope. The black, I think, was too harsh against the coffee dyed background. So a brown ink, I think, looks much better than the black. It's still nice. I just prefer the brown. But I really like the way the stamped image looks. And then I leave all of that other space alone because I really do like journaling on the envelopes. So now I'm going to step away and I'm going to stitch. Just as I did that one, I'm going to stitch all around and not just the sides. I did the bottom as well. So you could see there, that was fast. I stepped away and came back in like 2 seconds. The color's a little bit different because I ran out of bobbin thread, so I had to add a new bobbin, and it was a completely different color, but that's okay. It still looks good. So you could see I stitched all on around the sides and the bottom, and I like the way that looks. I love everything that is going on with this envelope, you guys. Everything. It looks so junky, and I love it. So here is the easy way to do this. To cut that notch at the top. Watch the previous video. I did it backwards. And then I also rounded the corners in the previous video using the corner punch. But if you don't have a corner punch, you can easily round it with just your pair of scissors. And the reason I cut that notch out is when it's in your signature, it makes for the flaps to fold over much smoother, where they don't get caught in the signature. So love the way that's turning out. I really do. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're collecting junk mail envelopes. There are so many things that you can do with junk mail envelopes, you guys. So many things. So showing you here, that looks so nice up against that striped scrapbooking paper. Just love it. And I can add the tag to the front part, or I can add it to the inside, just showing you all the different pockets, all the possibilities. Oh, that back looks so pretty with that flower and those butterflies. I just love it. I hope that you found this video helpful as far as coffee dyeing in the wintertime, and also repurposing junk mail envelopes, and also junk mail tags and snippet rolls and all the junky things that I've shown you today. I sure hope you found this useful and that it inspires you so that you can create. Let me know what you think down below, and I'm just so happy that you are here with me. Thank you so much. And oh yeah, if you would like to receive Happy Mail, leave me a comment below. I will select a few of you to send you some Happy Mail. So don't forget to leave a comment below. And I'd love to send you some Happy Mail, you guys. You take care, you guys, and I will see you next time, okay? Bye!